Okay, hi, welcome back. This is part 6 of the Cupcakeria game. And once again, the thing is, I don't know if I want to buy new furniture. Like, my freshness meter is going down a bit, but at the same time, I'm kind of too lazy to think about that. And I have enough stuff to prolong the waiting patience time. So I'm probably not gonna buy anything. And the upgrades too. Like I said before, I don't need this. I really don't. So we're still at Easter. So yeah, I'll just start. Mindy, pink hair, nice. Carrot cake. Is it tasty? I actually don't remember if I've ever eaten carrot cake. I don't think I did, honestly. It sounds kind of weird. Like, cake is supposedly something super unhealthy and sweet, and then carrot is just carrot. Like, but also, like, a few years ago I started to notice that I might have developed a carrot allergy. Like, it's not super serious, I won't die from it, but like, I don't know, 3-4 years ago I started to notice that whenever I ate carrot, my tongue would start to like tingle a bit. Again, it's not super serious. I can eat carrots just fine, but as someone's like a very big part of me since I was a child was the fact that I wasn't allergic to literally anything. Okay, let's get this right. Oh, beautiful. Like, I have 0 allergies. And I'm very proud of that. Like, I might not be 100% healthy or, I don't know, have the best functioning body. But the one thing I do have is that I have no allergies. But then a few years ago I started to notice that I started to have the carrot allergy, and also all of a sudden I started to have seasonal allergies too. Whenever what's it called? Spring came, I started to have a lot of allergies. But then again, I also perfect. Oh my god. For the first order. How exciting. But also ever since I was a child, every time like fall or winter came, I always have had runny nose. Like now too, every day it's so annoying, and because I can't blow my nose, I think so. Blow my nose in like whenever, because it's considered like super rude to blow your nose in front of people here. And I don't want to run to the bathroom every couple of minutes just to blow my nose. So that means I've been like sniffing back a lot, and that caused me to have a lot of migraines in the past 2 weeks. Like, I have a journal that I track pretty much everything I do on a day-to-day basis. And one of the things there is kind of like a health thing. So I write there when I have migraines. So it's very easy for me to track whenever I'm feeling sick. And I mean, specifically it's for migraines, because honestly, surprisingly enough, I haven't been actually sick this year. Like, at all. Now that I think about it, I haven't been sick, which is really weird, because I have been sick every year since I was a child. Like, I used to have very weak lungs, so it is really weird now that I think about it. But yeah, anyway. So if I look at the tracking, in November I got like maybe 1 or 2 migraines the whole month, and that was great, that was lovely. I think I might have forgot to write one, because sometimes I wake up with a migraine, or I get one very early in the day, and then I just take a few pills to, you know, to not suffer the whole day, because then I just can't do anything. And then by the time I fill out the journal at night, I kind of forget that I woke up with a migraine. So I'm pretty sure that happened at least once in November. But I mean, even then it would have been like 3 times. Oh, forgot the flower. It would have been like max 3-4 times the whole month. But then this month, in December, like only half of the month has passed and I already had, I'm pretty sure, like 3 or 4 migraines in the past 2.5 weeks. Which is wild, and it's very annoying too. It might have something to do with stress, but I feel like it's also because I started to work. All of my shifts are evening shifts, so I get home at around like 11:30, something like that. And obviously I can't just go to sleep straight away. Obviously not. I have to be on my computer for at least an hour because I'm fucking addicted. And then another half an hour at least on TikTok before I actually fall asleep. So that means that I haven't been sleeping very well, I guess, on those days. And to top it off, I have not been drinking water enough. Like, I can admit that. I don't like water. I don't like to drink water. But at the same time, I need to acknowledge the fact that my body is very sensitive to both of those things. So I guess it makes sense that I've had so many migraines. But it's very annoying. Like, very, very annoying. But on the other hand, I bought a new water bottle on Amazon yesterday, and it has like those lines that tell you by what time you need to drink what amount of water, so that's great. Discipline has always worked for me in this sense, so perfect, damn, nice. And it's like the water bottle is of 1 liter, so it's also a very, like, it's not a super unachievable objective, no, not objective, like goal, that's the one. It's not a super difficult goal to achieve. Like, to drink 1 liter of water every day is not that hard. But it is a very big water bottle compared to what I'm used to. So it does feel kind of weird to carry it around. Because it's just long, it's very long, it's not fat, it's a long water bottle. Like, I'm sure that they did that on purpose for it to like fit in cup holders. And maybe I should actually buy a cup holder for my bicycle now that I think about it. Because right now I've just been putting it in my basket. Like, when I went to school today, I just put it in the basket on the bicycle, and then it just rolled around the whole way, the entire way. And it was, for me it was funny. It was a bit annoying, but it was kind of funny just to see it roll around. And I mean, I did manage to drink the entire liter of water, so that's great. Hopefully, now that I'll actually go back to drinking enough water, I won't suffer as much. Because it really is annoying. It really is. Ooh, nice! I think I understand how to get perfect. Like, I need to, on the third level of the whipped cream, for it to be more on the center rather than on the like right side of the cupcake. In the middle. Damn, that's a lot of toppings on one tiny cupcake. That is a lot. 3 eggs too. Good for you. I mean, if it's chocolate eggs, I understand. I get it, honestly. Good for you, Jojo. 99, really? But I tried so hard. God damn it. Fine. Whatever. I have over $1,000. Jesus Christ. Chili works. Okay. Okay. This is easy. See? Easy. Almost like half of the time. Less than half of the time. If all of the minigames were like this, I would crush them so fast. But then some of them have to go and be actually skill-based, and then I'm fucked. I mean, as long as I don't have the race minigame, I think I'm fine, because I've really grown to hate it. Like, absolutely despise it. Prudence with their little ugly dog. Yay! With his tongue out too. Oh my god. I love dogs, I really do, but some of them, like, their whole existence is suffering, specifically pugs. Like, I know that dog is not a pug, but it just reminds me that some dogs really are just living in order to suffer. And it's not even cute, like, I'm sorry, I know pugs have like a very cult following around them, but they really are not like cute. Like, just by looks, if you look at them, they're not cute. But then again, I don't know. I guess it is a matter of taste. Because I just thought of my favorite breed of dogs, which is Chow Chow, by the way. I absolutely love them. And some people would probably not find them super cute. But I'm thinking, like, how can you not find Chow Chow cute? It's like, it's so fluffy and it's like a little bear. How could you not love them? They do have to live like in a very specific climate, I feel like. Like, I used to live in a relatively hot climate, And then one day, I saw that one of my neighbors had a Chow Chow, and I just thought, like, that poor dog. Like, I know they have double coats that keep them chill. Like, they don't overheat in the summer because of their double coats. But still, it's very hard to accept the fact that this ball of fur is doing fine in a hot climate, or sometimes in the summer it could reach 40 degrees, and then you have just this little bear basically just having to exist in that heat. But I mean, again, 40 degrees weather, everyone suffers. Nice. Actually, I'm not sure if Chow Chow is my absolute favorite. Like, I feel like I want to say that it is because it's not as mainstream like as a lot of other dogs. Like, amongst my favorites are also Husky and Shiba Inu. But I feel like really subconsciously, because both Husky and Shiba Inu are relatively mainstream and well-known breeds, I kind of don't want to say them, so I choose my least, like the least known breed out of my top 3 to be my absolute favorite. But also, a few years ago, I went kind of to a summer camp of dogs. It's like, it was a summer camp for training dogs, basically. And Blueberry. And I remember one day they gave us kind of a lecture on dog breeds. And one of the dog breeds that they talked about was the Chow Chow. And as soon as I saw him, I felt like I fell in love. Like, I actually fell in love in first sight. And as soon as I saw him, I decided that one day I'm going to own a dog like that. Even though I'm generally kind of against the whole like breeds and breeding dogs and selling dogs, because there are a lot of dogs in shelters and on the streets that are dying every day. And then on the other hand, people spend thousands and thousands of dollars just to have a specific dog looking like very specifically, in a specific way, which I feel like is so stupid because it's a living animal. It's supposed to be essentially part of your family one day, right? And you treating it like an accessory that has to look a specific way, like a designer bag, essentially, or designer clothes in general. It just sits very wrong with me. Like, I understand the appeal, obviously, as I said. I also really love how Chow Chow looks, and Huskies and Shiba Inus. Like, there are a lot of breeds that I really appreciate how they look and the way they were bred to be. But at the same time, like, both of the dogs that I owned, like that I had before I came to Japan, were mixed breeds that we adopted from shelters. Like, technically the first one we adopted from the shelter, and then the second one, she was found in like a field in a box with her siblings. So she never officially was in a shelter. We immediately took her and 3 of her siblings to be their foster home. And then we just adopted one of them. So technically she wasn't from a shelter, but she was from the streets, and she was mixed. And I love them very much. Like, mixed dogs have such a unique... I don't know. I feel like they're so unique and special. Each and every one of them. That it really is a lot more... It feels a lot more personal to own a mixed breed from the street. That would also, like, at least in theory, appreciate you more, because they know how hard it is to live on the street and to not have food and shelter, and then you can just love them as much as you want to, and it feels kind of rewarding. And at the same time, you don't spend thousands of dollars on a dog. I was about to say, like how you don't spend thousands of dollars on your children to just exist them, to bring them into the world, but then I just like gave myself a few more seconds to think about it, and you do actually do that. Like, having a child is so expensive. So expensive. God, I don't know how people have children deliberately. I really don't. Like, if you're rich, then yeah, obviously. But just regular people... Oh, I can't. I don't think I'll... Like, as I am right now, I don't really have any desire to have children. I would much rather have a herd of dogs to take care of, and that's it. Like, I'm not even going to be a cat lady, I'm going to be a dog lady. And I would be fine with that. Dogs are so much better than children. And they cost a lot less, so win-win. Nope, that was bad. Yeah, that was bad. Nope, never mind, saved it. God, I had a few perfects in the build section, but then all of them weren't perfect in the waiting time, and then as soon as I had a perfect in the waiting time, it wasn't perfect in the build section. Okay, what's the verdict? God damn it. God damn it. Oh boy. It's really annoying, but I think I'm starting to accept the fact that I'm not actually going to have a perfect day ever in this game. Like, until now, I had kind of hope that part after part, I'll just get better and better. But what the fuck? Okay, jeez. Why did I not see that immediately? My god, it was so easy. Some of these you don't really have to think too much, because I guess this is not the best example, but if you look just at the options, if I go up or left, it would just die. So my only options are to go right or down, and then some of these, it really is just one option to go every slide, and then you just get to the... Like right now, if I go right, then up and down, and left, I'll just die. So obviously I go down, and I don't even really need to think too much ahead. And here again, if I go up, down, and obviously... Okay. How did I do that? Yeah. No, that's not what... Oh, God. No, God damn it. That's not what I meant to do. Oh, my God. It's fine, okay. That's why I shouldn't use the mouse. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Tuesday. Let's start. A new day. And we got to the ugly dog again. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. I lived in Ecuador for like 3 months, I think. Well, technically in total it was 4 months, just not... It was 1 and 3 in separate times, but yeah. No, never mind. So I lived a total of 4 months in Ecuador, and one big problem that they have in most of the country is that they have a lot of stray dogs on the streets. Like a lot. There was one time we went on a trip, and it was like to a lake inside a volcano. Yeah, like it was an island inside of a lake, inside a volcano, and it was on a mountain. You know, nature, basically. And when we went down the mountain by car, I don't know if that's important, but yeah, by car, it took an hour to get down, and during that hour I was kind of bored because there wasn't reception. So, and I saw there was a lot of dogs on the side of the road, so I was just very interested to see how many there would be. Like, I knew there were a lot of dogs, but I want to know exactly how many. How much is that a lot? And in that hour that we were going down the mountain, I counted, I think it was like 118 dogs. Like, and there were different dogs because we went down the mountain. It couldn't have been the same dog appearing over and over. So it was actually 118 different dogs, at least. I think I lost count at some point, but for some reason I remember that number. And that is so many. Like on the top of the mountain too, where we stayed in the hostel that we stayed in. There were a few dogs outside, and one of them was so cute. Oh, I loved him. He was super like cocky and kind of rude. I don't know if rude is the right word, but it was like whenever I wanted to give them treats, he always jumped in front and tried to kind of steal it from me and from the other dogs. But he was really, really cute. He also followed us when we went to the lake. Like the whole way down and up again and back up. He followed us and he was so cute. He was so dirty though. But he was so cute. Ah, I miss him. But it's not just those like remote places, because that place was kind of remote, so I guess it maybe doesn't count as much. But even the city that we lived in, which is a pretty touristy city, it's not like a big city, but it's a very touristy one. There were a lot of dogs out there, and a lot of times whenever we went on walks in the evening, or I guess just went on walks period, we almost always took with us treats and dog food, and then when we saw dogs we would just give them the food. And because there are a lot of street dogs, a lot of convenience stores and just stores in general sell dog food by the pound? I think so. Like not kilogram, the American measurement. I think it's pound. For very cheap. So then you can just, if you see a dog on the street, you can just go inside the nearest store, get a bag and just feed that dog and his friends around too. But like, as much as cute and supposedly fun it is to like see all those dogs and pet them and give them food, the matter of the fact is still that a lot of them are starving. Like at least half of them were pretty much just skin and bones on the brink of death pretty much, and it was so sad to see, because like some of them had very bad illnesses or diseases, I guess, I don't know. And it's just it was just very sad to see. And then you compare it to other places in the world where, again, some people pay $10,000 for a French bulldog or whatever just to have it look good on their Instagram feed, or to have their status as like a rich influencer or just a rich person in general. And yeah, I don't like that. Specifically in Ecuador, the government did start to try and deal with this problem. I don't remember where they did that, if it was the whole like an entire area of the country, or if it was one of the big cities. I really don't remember. I think it was one of the big cities or like mountains in the country, because like the country itself can be divided into 3 general sections of like the beach, the mountains, and then the forest, or the jungle rather. So I don't think it was a whole area. It might have been the entire beach area, but again, I'm not sure. And I'm pretty sure it was actually, oh god, fuck. God damn it. I'll remake that. Yeah, that's too long. I'll remake it. Now that I think about it, it makes more sense for it to be like the city/mountain. But anyway, that place, whatever it is, they just gathered, like found all of the dogs, all of the stray dogs, and just took them off the streets. Like They didn't kill them, I'm pretty sure. Like, hopefully they didn't. I don't think they would, because burning all of the bodies would be way more expensive, I think. Maybe. I really hope they didn't do that. But at the very least they did take all of the stray dogs, or at least whoever they could find, obviously, off of the streets. Which is good. Very good, very nice. Hopefully, at least some of them will find good homes. But also another thing that I noticed while I was there is that, at least generally, people in Ecuador treat their dogs very differently, at least to what I'm used to treat your dog, right? Because like in the West, I think, at least that's how I see it, we treat dogs like toddlers, basically. Like, you wouldn't let your toddler just walk out the door and be free to do whatever he wants. Like, you're always keeping an eye on them, but it doesn't also have to be 24/7. Like, obviously it's not exactly the same, but generally that's the idea. But then in Ecuador, a lot of the times they kind of treat their dogs more like 7 to 8 year olds, like early elementary school. Mostly in the fact that they just let them be free. Like, a lot of dogs can just leave their house and return, like cats, whenever they want. Kind of. And they also, because they treat them less like children, and I guess more like dogs, which is what they are. Like, again, in the West, I feel like we treat them like such precious little beings, and our babies, and we are so very protective of them. But in Ecuador, they really do feel like more like young children. And also, which is also in the way that they receive punishment. Is punishment the right word? Discipline. That's the one. Discipline. In the way they receive discipline. Or like the food that they get. I don't know. It's also like, it's a bit hard for me to explain this, because one of our neighbors had a dog, but he specifically treated his dog so differently from how people around him treat dogs. So my first-hand experience with like an Ecuadorian that owned a dog is different from the general consensus of how owning a dog is over there. So it's really hard for me to explain, but like watching from aside, and how like his mother talked about how he treats his dog, that's the impression that I got. That's what it looked like to me. But yeah, he was super doting on his dog. It was like his little baby, and he was so overprotective of it. Easy levels then. And he like let him do whatever he wanted, and gave him super good food, but also he didn't really discipline him enough. At least not to our Russian standards. Like, my mother was so strict with how she wanted me to discipline our dogs when we got them, that, I mean, I get it. A dog needs to be disciplined, at least. I think maybe, I don't know, because like it's not a human, because it's not a human. It doesn't really understand what we say to him, and because of that, we can't explain to a dog things, just things in general, like we could explain them to a toddler or to a child. Oh, that's Japanese kanji. Or I guess it could be Chinese. The fuck should I... I mean, it's Sakura, so I'm assuming it's Japanese. And I mean, we did get Toru, which is she's a Japanese girl. It's a Japanese name. But then again, the chopsticks in the hair and the fan are more Chinese. So I'm very, very conflicting emotions right now. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a Japanese event because it is Sakura. Like my mom really, really needed our dogs to be very disciplined. To sit when you tell them to sit, to not allow them to go on the bed or on the couch or anything like that. Like a dog's place is on the floor or on his bed, but not your bed, because then it also dirties the bed with fur and everything. And it also differentiates the status ranking in the dog's mind. Because like if you let your dog share your bed, in your dog's mind you're the same level, like you're not better than the dog. And then if you, in a time of need, you really need your dog to listen to you, he might not listen to you, because in his head, in his mind, why should he? Like, you're not better than him. Why should he listen to you? So that's one of the main reasons to not let your dog on your bed, for example. Another one, our first dog specifically, because she grew up on the streets for at least a year, like between a year or two. She, like, we obviously don't know, because, I mean, we don't, but we assume that she got, like, I don't think tortured is the right word, but like, like, oh god, what's the word? I don't know what's the best word in English for that. But basically, men, specifically, hurt her, probably, when she was on the street. Because when we got her, she was so scared of men. And she was very aggressive towards them. Like, she was very scared of everyone, obviously. Even me, like, as a 7-year-old little girl, when I came back from school, she didn't dare to get close to me in the first few days. Oh god. There we go. But yeah, it was specifically men that she was for years. Like, up until when I left and came to Japan, she still... Men that she didn't knew, she couldn't really trust them. If an unknown man was entering our home, she would get so defensive towards him, and she would bark non-stop. And there was even one time, I think, that... I don't know why that specific time she was so stressed, but she even tried to kind of attack him, like not super aggressively because she was trying to scare him off. But yeah, in those kinds of situations, you definitely have to have control over your dog in order for him to not attack other people, because obviously I think it's a stupid rule. I really do think it's a stupid rule. But in most countries, if a dog attacks a person and actually bites them and hurts them, the dog gets killed. Which again, I think it's a stupid fucking rule. Like, most humans don't have an immediate death sentence if they kill other people. So if a dog... whatever. That's one thing I really, really, really fucking hate. So you have to be very careful about that. Especially if you love your dog. Like, in the end, you're doing it for them. For them to be in control and... yeah, to not die. To not be killed. But then again, I mean, I was a 7-year-old child. I don't know why my mom thought, like, why did she expect from me to discipline our dog too much? Like, I get that it was my responsibility because I asked to have a dog. I wanted that dog, so obviously it would be my responsibility, but then again, I was a 7-year-old child that didn't know any better. I mean, we did manage to discipline her, my first dog. Not perfectly, again, she had her trauma, and we did what we could with that. But, I mean, she sat when I told her to sit. Which I think is good enough. Most of the time she sat on the first time I told her to sit. Oh, queen, my darling. But also she did... There was a period of like 3 or 4 years that she loved to run away from home and to run away from me when I was walking her. There was one time I walked her, I think it was in the morning before school or something like that. Or maybe it was, no, it was on before school, I'm pretty sure. And the leash ripped, basically. And as soon as it ripped, she just ran away. And obviously it's a dog, I can't keep up with it. And she just disappeared in front of my eyes into nowhere. And I just started to get into a super... like, I was so panicked at that point. And I tried to kind of like outsmart her because I knew the area and I knew the places that she probably would go to. So instead of running right after her, I tried to like go around because there was a park nearby, which I was pretty sure she would go there because that was also the direction she was running towards. So instead of going after her, I went to a different exit of the park and, well, went into the park, but I didn't find her there. So I went back out the exit entrance, whatever, that she was supposed to enter with, like, to enter through, that's the one. And I tried to like retrace where she might have gone, And it took me like at least half an hour to go around and try and search for her. And I was panicking so much that day. Because usually when she ran away like that, I would at least be able to see her running around. Because, I mean, a lot of dogs treat that as a game, unfortunately. It's very stressful, but they do treat it like a game, so... Most of the times when she, like, her leash fell or she ran away, she would always be in my line of sight, at least. But I didn't even see her at all. And after half an hour of me searching around, I found her in the, like... kind of like a garden, not garden, like a yard of a building nearby, like near the park. And she was stuck there because the leash got tangled up in a bush, and she was really just stuck there, not able to move. And as soon as I found her, I felt so relieved. Like, I felt relieved, mad, annoyed, but also it was super funny to just see her stuck there. Like, the bitch tried to run away, but then she just got stuck immediately after, because it was not that far from when the leash got, like, when she was released. It was very, very close to there. So her freedom didn't even last long at all. And I would just search around all that time, and I was so stressed for nothing. But also, that little, she is a bitch, so that's technically not a curse word, but that little bitch, like, as soon as I released her, like, the untangled the leash from the bush, she immediately tried to run away again, and I, like, as soon as she tried to run away, I just screamed her name in a very angry tone, and she immediately stopped. Like, she realized that she was taking it too far. But the matter of the fact is that she still tried to run away again immediately after I found her. Which is like, come on. Oh no. She was such a rude dog, really. Ooh, that was nice. The worst case where she ran away was we lived near, like, the ocean, a sea, I don't know. And one time she ran away and she came back 3 days later. And again, I was so stressed the entire time. And then she came back 3 days later, and she was just kind of wet and covered in sand, and she was all happy and dandy. Like, at least she came back. At least she's smart enough for that. She is a very smart dog, but come on. She was so rude. But then in comparison to her, our second dog, she was such a little angel. Like, a bit too much. She was one of those dogs that when I came back home, she was, most of the times she would be so excited that she would pee. And it was so annoying because I didn't even do anything. Like, a lot of I saw some comments on a video recently saying that being super happy and petting your dog as soon as you come home will result in this kind of behavior. But the thing is, I really didn't even do anything. Just the fact that I entered the house, she would be so happy. And I mean, obviously I love that. I love her. She was like, obviously it feels great that she loves me so much. But like, come on, I just entered the house after a day of school or work and I immediately need to clean up your pee. Like, I love you too, but relax. And again, we found her when she was a week old. And she's been with us ever since. So it's not like she has any big trauma that she needs to overcome. She just really saw me specifically as her, like, again, we always joked that I was kind of like God to her, because she was with me ever since her eyes opened, basically. And yeah, I was her mom. I took care of her. I taught her everything. I fed her. I cleaned her pee pads when she was a puppy. I disciplined her, like I taught her everything. Also because she was such a small dog and I loved her so much as a puppy too. I always, not always, but a lot of times I would sneak her into my bed. Yes, I know, I just talked about how that's bad. But also because she was such a good dog and she knew that my mom didn't approve of her being on the bed. She had very conflicting emotions about that and it was so cute. Like whenever we heard my mom approaching my room, she would just know to quietly get off the bed and act like nothing happened. But again, I did manage to discipline her, and teach her a lot of tricks, and she was very, very obedient. Probably, basically just because I was with her since such an early stage. With her, her discipline was so good to the fact that a lot of times I would be able to even go on a walk with her without a leash, and she would listen to me. I wouldn't do that a lot of times because still it wasn't perfect, and we did, obviously there were roads around us, and I was so terrified that she might accidentally jump into the road. I mean, she's not stupid, she wouldn't have done that on purpose, but she also was a very scaredy dog. And there was a very, very big chance, a very big possibility of just there being another person or another dog that she would get scared of for no reason, really, for no real reason. She was just scared for no reason whatsoever. Again, she didn't have any traumas or anything. I don't know where she had that from. But there could just be someone walking on the street, on the sidewalk with us, and she might have get scared and then just jump to the road because she got scared, and she would try to avoid that person and or dog. So I didn't do that a lot, but I did do that sometime. I mean, after we moved to a different city. The area we lived in, like, was a lot more, it was a lot like a quieter neighborhood. It wasn't, there weren't a lot of cars. So when we moved there, I did basically just 90% of the time walked with her without a leash. But also, like, on the other, like, in front of our house, like literally in front of the building, there was a dog park, and we almost always went there. So it wasn't such technically a long walk without a leash, because we would immediately enter the dog park. So it would be fine. That dog park too was a whole nother story. When we first moved there, I was obviously like ecstatic to have that dog park, that I could release both of them, because obviously it's also not fair that the younger one could just walk freely and the older one would still be on a leash. So the fact that I could release the old one too. Oh god, come on. I was really happy about that idea. And then I'm pretty sure it was like on the first month, maybe in the second month after we moved there, I went to the dog park in the evening when, well, most of the people were there in the evening. It was a lot of people. And yeah, my old lady dog got bit quite bad. And that was one of the most terrifying moments in my life, I'm not gonna lie. The thing is that, like, she got bit, but it wasn't super bad. It was, like, yeah, it was a wound and she was bleeding a little bit, but it wasn't super bad. But then after we experienced that, and I kind of had like a trauma with going back there, another like a month or two passed, and I decided to try and give it another try. And obviously this time I would be more aware of her, and I would be following her better. But also, like, I expected the other owners to do that, because it wasn't my dog's fault. It wasn't. Like, I know she's not super social, but I'm saying that in the sense that, like, how we say introvert and extrovert, she's not an extrovert. She's a very introverted dog. She doesn't seek out to play with other dogs. She mostly just stays on her own lane and just doesn't bother anyone. But then the other dog just really picked on her. And you know how, like, older dogs try to teach, well, basically try to teach manners to the younger dogs. She kind of tried to do that to the other dog, to leave her alone. And that's, I don't know. Anyway, and that was the first time too she ever fought with another dog. And the other dog also, like, she didn't really attack the other dog. She only, like, kind of barked at them. But then some dogs have this very, like, alpha mentality, because they weren't disciplined enough when they were puppies, that they don't take any kind of superiority acts from other dogs. Like how she barked at them, they won't take that easily. You know, like how alpha males, like human alpha males supposedly, they get very, very aggressive as soon as you say one single bad words about them or anything relating to masculinity and stuff like that, and then they immediately go on the attack. Like this kind of... Oh god, yeah, okay, yep. Forgot to switch to my mouse, god damn it. So yeah, this kind of mentality. And I mean, if you know you that... What? I can't miss even one? I can miss one. Why did... I hate this game. God damn it. What the hell? I missed only one. I'm allowed to miss one. Fine, whatever. I don't have... Yeah, I do have... Okay. Oh, one thing. Like, if you know your dog is super... has a super alpha mentality like that, I don't think you should take him to a dog park, or at least not when it's super packed in there and at night, because there weren't enough lighting to actually see all of the dogs at once and what every single one was doing. But after all of that, I'm pretty sure every time I saw that dog, I might have just not went inside of the park in the first place. But then after like a month or two after, maybe a few months after that, there was an incident with another dog that I don't remember like what happened at all. But once again, my dog was the only one that actually got hurt in the entire thing. And this time it wasn't just a small thing. This time she actually had a hole in her leg. And she's an old dog. She had cancer even. And again, I remember I was so panicked because she was crying so much and she was bleeding and I didn't know how bad it was. And as soon as we separated the dogs, I just took her out of there. Like I took both of them out of there and I went back home just crying the entire way, and I carried her in my arms. Oh, it's such a bad feeling. That's also like why I know I'm not... Oh god. Thank god I saw that. Jesus. That's also why I know I'm not ready to have children. Because I'm just so bad at dealing with just under pressure in general. Because after I got home and my mom saw that I was crying and that our dog was like she was injured, she immediately told me to. She obviously asked me if I took the contact information of the other owner, because obviously they should pay for the vet fees. After all, their dog caused the entire thing. And I didn't even think of that. I mean, I went back and thankfully she didn't like run away or anything, so... but she also didn't really cooperated with me. I don't know if it was because I wasn't an adult or what. I mean, I was like, I don't know. Actually, no, I think I might have been an adult at that time, like technically. I think I was 18. Maybe? Was I 18? I don't know. I probably was. Or maybe it was because I was just crying and super hysteric and... probably because of that. But yeah, my mom followed me and then she talked with her and... Actually, I don't remember if in the end she did pay for the vet fees. I don't remember. I think she might have just ignored us after a few messages. And then after that, we just didn't see her in the park. But yeah, we went to the vet. She got stitches. And that's that. My poor dog though, she's really a fighter, goddamn. She had cancer too, like it wasn't a spreading cancer, it was a lump, thankfully. And she has allergies for a certain chemical with... I don't know the specific thing, but dog food or meat in general has something in it that she's allergic to. I don't know what specifically it is, but yeah, that too. But even with all of that, like getting bitten twice, like growing up on the streets, having cancer, having those allergies, even with all of that, right now she's like, what, 16, 17, and she's still going strong. She's very energetic and cheerful. Like obviously she's an old dog, she's not acting like a puppy. I mean, personality-wise, she is acting kind of like a puppy, like a very smug puppy. But yeah, she's still going pretty well. Now that I think about it, we do have a history of dogs living a long life in our family. One of the family dogs that like my grandma owned, and then when my grandma left back to Russia, then it was passed down to one of my aunts, not my uncle. Like it was a tiny kind of a Chihuahua dog, and that dog lived to be, I think, 18 years old, 18 or 19. I don't think she was 20, but at least 18 or 19, I'm pretty sure. Which is amazing. Like, but yeah, the last months of her life, she was very like, oh god. You could see she was physically deteriorating, like all of her teeth fell out and she was walking really slowly, and she was also very fat at that time, by that time. But I mean, in the end, she really did live a very long life for a dog. And now my dog also, 16, 17, she is still very energetic, even with all of her things she experienced. I'll take that as a win. I will. It is very sad to me, the fact that I can't like be with her until the end. Oh god, I'm gonna cry. I really tried to hold it in as long as I could, but it is a very sensitive subject for me. When both me and my mom, well, I mean, when my mom left first, and then I decided that I also want to live where I grew up, we thought of trying to at least one of the dogs, at least the older dogs, to basically like move her to where my mom lived, but because it was on the other side of the world and it's like a total of I think like 20 hours of 2 flights and a connection of like 2 hours, that would mean that the dog would have to be on very like on a lot of drugs basically. You know, so she would sleep inside of the kennel, but because she was so old, there was a very big possibility she might have just died from all of those drugs. So we didn't do that. I mean, we did, it's not like we abandoned her. We gave her to my uncle and his wife, which my uncle is a bit of a different story, but at least his wife is such a sweet person and she loves animals so much. And we like knew that there is really no better person than her to take care of our eldest, take care of the oldest dog. And I mean, that way we still get a lot of pictures and videos of her, and that's how I know she's still very fun and very fine and very energetic and not acting like her age at all. Left, right, that's left and right. Oh my god. But then after we found that solution, we also thought of, like, obviously the other dog, the younger one, my baby, what to do with her. I lost her. It's either 1 or 2, I think 2 maybe? It's 1, yeah, it's 1, god damn it. And I, for a very long time, was really set on the idea of bringing her with me to Japan. Because it just was really hard for me to give up on her. God damn it. But bringing a dog to Japan, and even if she's not old like our oldest dog, it's still putting her under a lot of drugs and putting her through a very traumatic experience. Like, it's very traumatic for dogs to go through that. And then I would be leaving her as an exchange student, as a foreign student, which is already hard on its own. And then having a dog on top of that, which means that, like, even with just apartments, that would be nearly impossible to find an apartment that would accept both me being a foreigner and me having a dog. Like, even if it's a well-behaved dog, like she is, it would be very nearly damn impossible. So I just had to accept reality with the fact that it's not possible. I also like thought of maybe leaving her with a family member for a few months or a year until I kind of settle down here and then bring her. But that would mean that I also had to pay for an extra trip, like back and forth with the dog. And again, it doesn't resolve the really problem of trying to find an apartment and the trauma and everything. And yeah, it just wasn't realistic, unfortunately. So we also gave her to like family. It wasn't an immediate family, like my uncle and his wife. It's like an extra step further, like the family of the husband of my aunt, something like that. Which again, we made sure that we knew that she would be in good hands. And now that my grandma is back, like she came back from Russia, she visits their house a lot. So she also very much agrees that she's being treated amazingly. But also because it's not like an immediate family like that, we don't really know these people. I also don't get any photos or videos at all, and although it might be for the better, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't such a great idea to talk about this. My God, it's such a sensitive subject for me. But at the same time, the more I talk about it, the more I'll be less like sensitive or emotional about it. So I probably should, you know, to resolve all of that emotional load on my mental well-being. Another thing with going through this kind of experience is that, like, I mean, it is kind of traumatic. And now both me and my mom are very scared of the idea of owning a pet again. I mean, specifically dogs, because like a lot of other pets you can bring with you in a kennel on the plane, so it's not as bad as being in the trunk with all of the luggage. I mean, small dogs too, but like I said before, I'm not really a fan of small tiny dogs. But yeah, a lot of pets you can bring with you on a kennel. So specifically dogs, like only in two options. One is if you're 100% sure that for the next 10 to 15 years you won't want or need to live where you live right now, because bringing the dog with you to where you potentially go is so complicated. And the other option is if you're super rich, basically. Like PewDiePie too, where he spoke about it, about how when they moved to Japan, it was so difficult for them to try and bring their dogs with them. And in the end, like, the best solutions for the dogs was to hire a private plane and fly all the way to Japan on a private plane, which is super fucking expensive. And you can only do that if you're filthy rich. And you know, that's so annoying to me. That's so not fair, I feel like. Like, I wish it was actually possible to buy a seat for your pet, no matter how big the dog is. Like, I'm obviously talking specifically about dogs. And then just have that seat reserved for them. Or like, maybe some airlines should have a specific, like a special seat or a special area specifically for dogs to be in. It really is not fair. Why can't we do that? It's at the end of the day, to most people, again in the West, from what I've experienced, from the culture I come from, dogs are very much part of your family. And just that they are treated so differently is so, I don't know, unjustifiable. I think it's the best word I can think of right now. Like, I know they're animals and they're not humans, but also I don't like to put humans on a pedestal. Like, in the end of the day, we're all animals, we're all going to die. Just the fact that we're a little bit more smarter than most animals, and we also have, I don't know, the body to implement what we think of. It doesn't necessarily make us better than all of the other living creatures on this planet. So I really hate putting humans on a pedestal and saying that dogs are lesser than just because they're not human. Like, family is family. What are you going to say, that an adopted child is lesser than a child that you birthed just because they're adopted? Like, no. A child is a child. Family is family. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Easy. I'm starting to remember the placements of things, so it's easier and easier. Okay, 1. Oh god, or maybe I don't. Where is that? There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cherry. There we go. On his hand. What's he slipping for? What is that saw even, really? Oh god. There we go. Purple ball, Oreo, is it whipped cream? I don't know. No, it's not. Is it? I think so. Maybe? Well, anyway. That was a bit of a heavier video than I thought it would end up. I had totally different things I want to talk about, honestly. Like, I have a list. I have a whiteboard on my desk, so I write a list of topics that I want to talk about in these videos. But just the whole dog topic just took over, and I just went with it the entire video, and it got a bit heavy for me at the end. But yeah, I don't know, I feel like it's good to let out and actually talk about different things, and hopefully that wasn't too bad for you guys and you actually enjoyed that talk and this whole topic. Dogs are very dear for me. I love them very much. I love them dearly. I was an only child with a single mother, so my dogs were pretty much my best friends ever since I was 7. But yeah, I thank you guys for watching. Tell me what you think again of these kinds of this video. I'm pretty sure kind of like the second time I'm doing more of a single topic video. It wasn't on purpose, but it turned out like that. So tell me what you think, if you like that, if it was too heavy or if it was kind of awkward. Again, I don't know. I'm very bad with social cues and human interactions and what's acceptable or not. I'm very bad at that. So teach me your ways, humans. yeah. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, comment something. We're very close to 1,000 subscribers, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.